So you may or may not remember roughly a month ago on the channel, we discussed the likelihood of Goldeneye 007 Remaster coming out for both Microsoft and Nintendo platforms, and we expected the announcement to be revealed in the next few weeks. That time has since come and gone, and in today's video, we have to talk about the big update that just hit the internet around the story and have a discussion on whether or not we can still expect Goldeneye 007 Remastered to indeed drop in the year of 2022. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we are talking again about Goldeneye 007 Remaster, as clearly the fans are there for this game and they want to purchase this game however it is released, whether we see it announced from Microsoft first, whether it's just dropped on the NSO expansion pack service, like you name it, fans are ready to re-experience this game, hopefully with online play and some graphical overhauls, as we do know that originally this game was intended to be re-released and remastered on Xbox Live Arcade back in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. That project never saw the light of day, of course, because of multiple license holders that could not come to an agreement on the deal, one of which being Nintendo, one of which being Microsoft, who ultimately purchased Rare, who made it for Nintendo back in the day, and then of course you have MGM Studios, which actually owns the James Bond franchise as a whole. And it was sad at that time to come to the realization that a project was actively worked on, essentially finished, done with development and ready to go, but that could ultimately never launch due to those issues. We even saw it then leaked out on PC, fully playable in the year of 2021, and it's had a lot of fans talking about whether or not we could ever expect Goldeneye to ultimately get a remastered version. And then things really started to heat up in the rumor mill and speculation talk when we did see things like the Germany ban lifted late last year. And what's interesting about this is that the game was technically banned in Germany, and someone in some corporation, most likely Nintendo, actually paid to have this game re-reviewed before it would have happened automatically, as every 25 years I guess the games get looked at anyway. It was 24 years, meaning that it wasn't, that time was not up yet, and there was actually extra work put in to get it lifted off of that Germany ban list. And that is a big deal simply because Nintendo's European eShop is indeed based out of Germany, and if it's banned in that region, you're not going to be able to sell it anywhere on the European eShop, period. And so that would be obviously a very big issue and misstep if this game is indeed coming back to Nintendo platforms. We also know that the working relationship between Microsoft and Nintendo today is far different than what it was back in 2013 with things like the Xbox 360 and the Wii competing. Now we see first-party Microsoft games released on Nintendo platforms such as Minecraft, such as the Ori games, and then we even have things like the Banjo-Kazooie N64 edition to Nintendo Switch Online, meaning that the door is very much open for Rareware classic titles that are a big part of the N64 collection to begin with. In addition to the Germany ban list, we even had Rare developers spotted unlocking new achievements on a Goldeneye game that was separate from the Xbox Live Arcade one, because you can tell from the total gamer score points that are available on there. And of course, this really started the rumor mill fire. Then we had notable gaming journalist Jeff Grubb, who has leaked numerous Microsoft projects, essentially state that Microsoft would most likely be the one to reveal this remastered project, and that it would be in the next few weeks. And now to discuss the major update and the reason it is back in the news today, I do want to quickly hop over to Nintendo Life, where they have some news around a new trademark filing, the reason it's starting up the rumor mill discussion again, and even an updated comment from Jeff Grubb himself on the real reason why this may be pushed down the pipeline some and not immediately talked about, but that there is indeed still hope for this game to come out. However, it may be a little bit more of a waiting game than we were initially planning on. So let's quickly read through this article together. Goldeneye's trademark has been updated, so of course those remaster rumors are back. Welcome back to our once monthly Goldeneye 007 update. If you think we're joking, well, we mostly are, but from February's rumor mill winding up and Rick Astley declaring James Bond's N64 outing is his favorite video game, to the Xbox Digital re-release rumors in January, it seems everyone is desperate to get their hands on either that canceled Xbox 360 Goldeneye remaster, a more basic re-release of the world's best-known spy's best game. Danjuk LLC, the company that owns many trademarks and licenses for the Bond franchise, was granted an extension to use the trademark just 2 days ago on March 15th. The franchise's 60th anniversary is this year, and with these updates and rumors swirling around for the past year, it's surely a case of if not when. In fact, at this point, it's not unlikely that the rumored remaster is being held back because of the recent Russian invasion of Ukraine. As Goldeneye has a Soviet-heavy plot, Nintendo recently delayed the release of Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp for this reason. VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb has corroborated this. And Jeff's tweet reads as follows when responding to a fan who is asking, "Jeff, my man, where's Goldeneye 64?" And he has this to say: "I wish I could get an answer on this unannounced thing, but I think that if it were planned to be announced, that's probably been put on hold due to Goldeneye's Soviet-Russian military-heavy plot and characters. Whether it's a remaster or a Nintendo Switch Online version complete with online compatibility, we're surely going to find out sometime this year if the gold standard of film-to-video game adaptations is making a return." Now, whether or not you think the trademark renewal has anything to do with this game coming out, it may or may not. We see trademark renews for numerous licenses over the course of times. Sometimes they're indications of timing on things and unannounced projects. Other times it is just business as usual and the maintenance you have to do to maintain the licensing rights for these type of titles. But I do think that this is one of those cases that we will ultimately see this announced. I am very confident it will happen in the year of 2022, and it does unfortunately line up with Nintendo's recent stance and announcement on delaying Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp that was slated for an April release due to the real world events that are taking place right now. And I do think that this is something that is at least a plausible explanation on a potential reason for why we haven't heard anything on this GoldenEye project in this particular timeline. That said, 60th year anniversary for the Bond franchise and all of the different indications of evidence that this game is indeed a project, is indeed being worked on, and even being actively played by Rare developers right now, I personally still think it's a safe bet to say that this game is indeed coming out, and I'm hopeful that it is a real true up remaster. Even if it just had the quality of the graphics of the Xbox Live Arcade version, I would be happy with that. But if we go a step further and really see true HD visuals brought into the same core game that's so iconic for so many people, including myself, with 4-player online multiplayer, like, it will be a game changer and a huge moment for gamers out there, especially people who grew up in the N64 era, such as myself, as it'll be interesting to see if the newer generation of gamers adopt to a new GoldenEye game, or if it's just something more for the nostalgic players out there that remember it growing up. But regardless, I do think it's going to play a lot better in the year of 2022, as we won't just be tied to that one analog. And I know you could use 2 analogs with 2 separate N64 controllers. That was just a very strange thing to do. So I personally would be excited to see what kind of tweaks and gameplay improvements have been made over the course of time with this project. And let's hope we get some kind of official confirmation on it soon, so we can stop all of the rumors and speculation talk, although there is reason to report on it because there's definitely a lot happening with the GoldenEye name, coincidentally on the 60th anniversary, and knowing that there's something going on here. It's pretty clear it is not a if but when type of conversation. But at this point in the video, guys, I do want to hear from you all personally on how you think we're going to see this released, because it very well could be a standalone game that's dropped into Game Pass, and maybe Nintendo only gets the NSO version that doesn't have the better graphics overhaul, or maybe it's a Switch standalone game that launches and then Xbox also gets it on Game Pass. Like, it could very easily be released in numerous different ways, and I'm sure fans will buy it regardless. But I do want to hear how you personally would actually like to see GoldenEye brought back in the year of 2022, and whether or not you think it's happening like I do, or if you do think that maybe this has all been overblown, and even though there's a lot of smoke, there is no fire with this situation. So I want to hear from you guys regardless of where you fall on this issue, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all in the comments down below. Make sure you check out yesterday's video if you haven't already, where we discussed the data mine that hit Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC and how it could have revealed a handful of new tracks, and a quick gameplay session of booting up those tracks together and going through them. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.